100 years after the landings here, today's soldiers are in awe of the bravery of the Anzacs and their courage under a hail of gunfire. Among them, our own war hero, Victoria Cross recipient Ben Roberts-Smith. He told me every one of the Australians who fought at Gallipoli deserves a special honour. Ben, this area is known as the Neck. Explain to me why it's called that and the significance of where we're standing.
Well, look, the Neck was actually a very important battle in the context of Gallipoli, simply because it was actually a diversionary attack that went wrong. We were supposed to attack the Turks at this point to free up Suvla Bay where the Brits were landing, but when that was decided that wasn't going to take place.
So down over here?
Exactly right.
This is the area they're trying to hang on to?
When it was decided that wasn't going to take place, the attack should have been cancelled. But instead, the decision was made they'd give it a go anyway. And as you can see, this is actually a natural bottleneck. It's only 80 metres wide, and the distance between the Australian trenches, which are at this end, and then the Turkish trenches over in those pine trees, is only around 80 metres. So you had all of these men in this tight spot trying to charge machine guns. And unfortunately for us, they'd set up 4 waves of men from the 3rd Light Horse Brigade, and the first wave was cut down, the second wave was cut down, and even knowing that, they still sent the 3rd wave, and again, they were cut down, and we had close to 300 casualties and a lot more wounded. But the 4th wave of men were actually held back. And what's interesting about that is they had watched all of their men die. And in that group of men was Hugo Throssell, who would later be awarded the Victoria Cross at Hill 60. And it's often said that the fighting that happened at Hill 60 later, by that 4th wave, was driven by what had happened to them here at the Neck, where they'd lost basically all of their mates.
How do you, as a soldier, watch the first wave die and know that you've got to go in and you know what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it from a contemporary sense, and you talk about courage, and people talk to me about bravery every day. But that, to me, epitomises true bravery. I mean, each one of those men should have been given a VC because they knew they were going to die. I mean, there's no assumption that you'll get anywhere near the Turkish trenches, but you still go because you don't want to not go when the rest of your mates are. And so they did it because that's what they were told to do. And wave after wave went to their death, and it's unimaginable for us now. Even as a soldier, I can't imagine why you would do that. We would be questioning that as they were in the day, but back then, that was warfare.
The Light Horsemen, you said, so where did they come up? So this is the area, it's really narrow.
That's right. So basically, the Australians had come up along the ridgeline, down from the beach. So they held trenches at this end, and then 80 metres away to the forward area where those pine trees are, were the Turkish positions. But as you can see, because it is a bottleneck, all the Australians were funnelled up here, and in the Turkish language, it's actually called Bloody Ridge, because essentially they massacred everybody, because it's a piece of ground that nowadays you wouldn't consider assaulting this, because you know it's a natural bottleneck, you know you're not going to win. But back then, they still sent them.